Miss May. Hey, hey, it's Friday. Hey, hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hello, welcome. I'm going to give you a moment to just subscribe to the channel. Just hit that red button. All right. So now that you're subscribed, let's get to talking about what this video is all about today. So, y'all know, who have known me for a while, classroom management, building relationships with children is that's my jam. That is me. That's who I am, who I've always been. And so I have been talking to so many of my different teacher buddies here at my school, but then people that I've worked with in the past are at different schools. And we all have that same conversation about, wow, you know, things are a little different nowadays versus when we used to teach, you know, some of us a long time ago. This is my 19th year of teaching and education, and I've seen many kids my day and taught many kids my day. And I can remember my first year of teaching, one of the best classes. And one thing that I noticed about that group of kids that I still often think about was I think about how those kids then had such great manners and respect for me as their teacher. Like it was a non-negotiable, period. You don't disrespect Miss May. You don't disrespect your teacher. No, it's yes, ma'am, or yes, no, ma'am, or no in a polite tone. Just thank you. May I have, you know, it was just, the manners were just wonderful. And if a child didn't show proper manners, and if you were to call a parent would be on it. I have to say though, as years have gone on, every single year, that has changed a lot. And I know I'm not alone because I know a lot of teacher peeps. And we all say the same thing. And so we find that it is hard for some kids, not all, but for a lot, to accept correction. There's always a comeback. There's always a talk back. And y'all, I'm going to tell you, I don't do well with talk back. I really, truly don't. I don't tolerate that whatsoever. And so I find that I have to teach some kids, you know, in my years of teaching, how to accept correction. You know, there's always a comeback. There's always a reason why. No, we talk a lot about having ownership of what our choices that we make, have ownership of the words that we have chosen to use. We talk a lot about that. There's no, well, I did this because they did this. I said that because they said, no, you take ownership, okay? You said it, you did it, you own it, period. So I use a card system that was provided by my school, and and it's called Accepting Correction. Now I know this is probably somewhere free online, but I just kind of jazz mine up to just make it a little bit bigger for myself and my kids, but it's called Accepting Correction. And so we talk a lot about how we look at the people in the eye that are talking to us. That's letting people know that we are listening. And then we say, okay. Now I have my kids say, okay, Miss May. And then we don't argue. There's no comeback. There's none of that. It's just okay. And so before I start using this card, I teach it to my kids, all of them, because you know they all need to hear it. So I teach it to all my kids, and we talk about it. And then when I need to use it, and it just stays on my tag, my ID badge to get in the school. It just stays on here, and when I need to use it, I just lift it up so that they can see it. And then I talk and I say, okay, Miss May. And then if they're not looking me in the eye, I need you to give me eye contact. And they'll give me eye contact, and then I'll say, okay, Miss May. And I'm just pointing to it. And then I'll say, we don't argue. No argue. And I point to the bottom one. And then I walk away. And that's that. Now, you will get kids that won't say okay. You'll have those kids. There's always some that are going to test you to see what's she going to do. What is he going to do? They're going to test you. So the kids, when I need them to accept correction, okay, basically what I do, okay, so I'm looking them in the eye and I'll say, Say, okay, Miss May. Okay. I wait about 5 seconds. Say, okay, Miss May. They're still not saying it. So they'll say, okay, so I guess you're not ready to accept correction. So I'm going to walk away and we'll talk in a little bit. And that's what I do. I walk away. I'm done. I don't stand there and waste my time trying to convince this child to say okay to me and accept correction. I don't waste time like that. But then when I walk away, literally 30 seconds later, maybe a minute, Miss May, I'm ready to talk. Not right now because I need to get my job done. So we'll talk in a little bit when I'm ready. And sometimes I make them wait a little bit and sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on the situation. You can kind of get a feel for your kids. And I'm going to tell you, kids don't like to wait. Because then they're thinking about it now. Then it's like, oh, she's not talking to me right now. Oh, she's, They're going to feel a little bit. So don't go into an argument with a child. If they're not ready to accept correction, then you just let them know, okay, we're going to talk a little bit later when I feel like you're ready to talk. And then I just walk away and I just start getting busy doing what I need to do. I never, ever, ever argue with a child. I'm not going to do it. I don't do it. I'm not going to do it. Seriously, you think about this for a second. You're arguing with a child and getting worked up and they're seeing you get all worked up and upset. That's probably a little bit of joy in them. Look how mad they're getting. Ooh, all I got to do is this to get them worked up. You don't want any of that. So if you know you are not ready to talk to a child in a calm, respectful way, just walk away. Just walk away and let them know, you know what, right now, I'm not ready to talk. But when I am, I'm going to come back and we're going to have a conversation. And leave it at that. Children need to learn to respect us. They really, truly do. And we need to learn to respect children as well. So I think it's important that we understand it's not what we say, friends. It's really not. It's how we say it. It's just like if your principal or your friends, they're trying to tell you something. It's all about how they tell you. They can tell you this way and you're going to get hot. You're going to be upset. Or they can tell you this way and it's like, okay, you got a point there. So it's not what you say. It's how you say it. So I make sure that I'm very calm when I'm talking to my kids. I make sure that I'm not trying to be malicious and mean and you're going to listen to me. I don't go there. I don't. But I have my tone where they know I mean business, but it's a respectful tone. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you. I would talk a lot about teaching your children to have ownership on their behavior choices and their word choices. They need to have ownership. There's no, I did this because of this. No, you did this. You made that choice. Okay. We all have a choice. You made that choice. So I will tell you, a couple weeks ago, I was talking to a kid and they weren't accepting. Well, no. Yes. So I was talking to them and they were getting ready to have a rebuttal. And y'all, I got this. And okay, Miss May. Okay, Miss May. I couldn't even get the card flipped it up for them to say, okay, Miss May. So it does work. And I think what helps too, y'all, is that they have a visual. They have that reminder. Say, okay, Miss May. Don't argue. Because that's just a little person there arguing. So that's what I use. I use some other cards too, but we'll talk about that on another day. But I just wanted to see, I just wanted to let you guys know what I do when there's children that are basically talking back, trying to have a rebuttal on why they did this or why they did that. So when you're correcting a child, those are the 3 things I do. Eye contact, say okay, don't argue, and then you walk away and continue on. So I hope that helps y'all. I hope that helps a little bit with you guys. Just give it a try. Like I said, things that I share on my channel, one thing I have to tell you guys, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent and it has to be on a continuous basis in order for you to see something. It's the sixth week of school and I use that correction one. I mean, I might have used it maybe once this week, and it is Friday. So it works, but you got to be consistent. You can't just think, oh, I'm going to sprinkle this, get it together, accept correction juice, and it's going to work, voila. That's not how it works in teaching. I'm sorry. You have to be consistent. You got to be in there to do it and do it well and do it right. And remember too, Like in these situations when we're dealing with kids, remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Okay? When you're trying to teach these kids positive behaviors. All right, guys. So it's Friday. Hallelujah. So it's Friday, y'all. Let's make it a great Friday. I hope you're having a great Friday, or whenever you're watching this, I hope you're having a great day, afternoon, morning, night, whatever the case may be. And as always, don't forget to always pray, because God will always, he will always truly make a way. I love you guys. Bye.